Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday morning trading room. I hope you did all right yesterday. It looks like the market put in a decent rally, relatively soft kind of day, but there you go. Especially in the afternoon, it looked like it got a little giddy up. Finishing the day looks like around 74.50, and here we are opening with a little bit of an upside gap as we open the day around 74.70. The overnight very, very quiet. The Asian and European sessions practically non-existent yesterday. Here, just taking a quick look at the hawk, we can see a lot of sideways action developing here as we're printing a lot of yellow bars. Our filter is all broken up. This, of course, on the NASDAQ, just a quick review for the benefit of the new people in the room here this morning. What you're looking at is the complete diversified trading system along with the Raptor. So what I have here is I have the Hawk micro scalper in the top left, Falcon swing trader top right, Eagle trend trader bottom left, and of course the Raptor here on the bottom right. The markets I'm watching here are the NASDAQ, and I've got the Russell and the E-mini up on my other monitors. Please feel free to ask questions if there's something you don't understand. If you're wondering why I'm doing something or not doing something, just watch the Geiger counter here. We had a big flurry of buying and selling right on the open. It looks like it was fairly evenly matched. Overall, the market with a slightly bullish bent. If we take a look at our daily chart, this now the daily NASDAQ, and you can see we've been plotting higher back here now to this 7,500 range. That's been causing some problems. Looking here at the volume's getting a little bit light as we're getting towards 7,500 again. We'll see what kind of market participation the buyers can encourage as they get up there. Overall, like I say, a little bit of a bullish bent. Those of you who like to do your first in-sync eagle signal of the day, I do believe that is it right there. And it looks like we're getting some decent follow through. You Raptor traders don't need to feel left out on that first signal idea. You can do the same. You're looking for your first in-sync signal of the morning, and that's that one right there. I knew a fellow who used to do it with the Falcon, also with very good success. I think he did it, he was in and out really quick. He scalped like 3 or 4 ticks. I think it was just to get that first profit of the day, make himself feel better about the day. Okay, nice little rally here to start the morning. For me personally, I'm not an early trader. I kind of like to see which way the market is leaning. All right, so a little bit of a pullback. It's still very early, of course. We're only 8 minutes into the day. Okay, so the hawk now here with a little bit of a red bar buy signal. These kinds of signals on your hawk tend to develop near the end of a trend. So what you could actually do with this is you could set up to short the failure. Now this is technically more of a counter trend type move. What time is it? We're closing in on that quarter to the hour territory, my least favorite time of the day to trade. But here is a potential for a counter trend move. We're also going to get a similar signal here on the Raptor. As the Raptor is now testing the extreme, and it could come back with a number 2 signal. Your number 2 signal is your counter trend signal, and it's the same idea. You need first to have a trend that you're going to go counter to, and you need to see a retest of, in this case, the high and a failure. Now, your counter trend signals will tend to work out a little bit better on the Raptor when your trading band starts to get rather broad. So here we're at 74.8250 to around 74.6950. What is that? 82 less 69, that's what, about 13. So yeah, we're sitting at around 50 ticks broad on the cloud. And our target here would now be the hard edge of the trading band. It did not print as a number 2 signal because I don't think it quite got high enough here to retest it, but visually you can see it is a number 2 signal. You could do a second push opportunity on that. The second push simply means we allow the signal to engage, we see where it flinches, and then we use that bar as our signal bar. Now, the thing to bear in mind with counter trend signals is they are counter trend signals. They have a lower probability of success. I think I heard the hawk signal fill. Yes, the hawk signal filled. The hawk signal will have a better chance of success because, of course, it has a tighter profit objective. We're scalping on the hawk, so it's likely to hit. Yep, I'm back. Yes, Dan, I think we lost sound. So the last thing I mentioned there was with the hawk, the probability is a little bit better of reaching its profit target because it's a scalp target. The profit target being a little bit closer, and then here on the Raptor, because we're running a swing profit target, looking for that hard edge, we're making the market work just a little bit harder. But you have to remember, counter trend trades are always going to be a little bit more difficult. They're always going to be riskier to do. We'll stay with this one, see how it's working out. The Geiger counter, see how it's pulling here to the sell side and sticking? That's a good sign. That's what I like to see. That shows kind of a flurry of selling, and that may give me some follow through. I think they slipped me a tick there too, stinkers. So we'll see how they do here. If we can get down to that hard edge, you know what? The way the market is, I think I'm going to force this trade to break even at this point. There we go. Hit the break even target and just above my profit objective. Come on. Don't bounce yet. You got to hit the hard edge first. There we go. Come on. Get down there. Come on. You can do it. Oh, whew. Hooray. That was hard work. Well, what do you know? That actually worked out. It was quarter to the hour, my least favorite time of the day to trade, but squeaked a few dollars out of that trade. That's all right. And the Hawk trade also working out on that failure of the red bar buy signal. Now, red bar buy signals on the Hawk, not to be confused with the red bar buy signals on the Eagle, which are very strong. But the red bar buy signal on the Hawk does tend to develop near the end of a trend. You can short it, short the failure of it, as I did, or you can simply use it as an early warning that perhaps the trend is starting to unwind, and then you can be on the lookout for your first micro macro cross signal, which of course is a very powerful sell signal. All right, hooray for us. Two good trades. Well, actually three. My day would be done had I taken the first in-sync Eagle signal. My day would be done. And we're only 20 minutes into the day. I'd still get a good tee time at the golf course. Okay, so the Hawk and the Falcon already full on sell mode. The Eagle is starting to turn over, although technically the band is still bullish, and the Raptor now here also working a possible early cloud crossover. Cloud crossover, of course, when the clouds fully cross, as here with the #1 signal, clouds were out of sync, they come back into sync, there's a little bit of a pullback, then we produce that #1 signal. Might be waiting a little while here for a decent signal to produce. No, there they go. Oh, I might have missed out on that one. Should have left a runner in play. My goodness, look at that market go. Trying to fill that gap from the morning. Okay, so we've got a proper cloud crossover now here on the Raptor. The Geiger counter is a little bit out of sync though. Yeah, I would much prefer to see this Geiger counter not here with a green arrow. The green arrow indicating we're probably going to see a little bit of a rally here. Once again, we do have the second push opportunity. You could, use that bar there as your signal bar. Part of the problem with this trade is going to be, where do I cover it? I can't really cover it right here. I can't cover it right here because that's far too tight. So you can see there's a problem. You'd get tagged out before you even had a chance to make a profit. Normally I go 2 swings back. That kind of puts me above the high of the day, and Trade Manager says, nope, sorry, Eric, that one's a little bit out of reach for you. Got a bit of a bullish pushback now. Okay, the Hawk getting a little bit more bullish now, as is the Falcon. All right. Well, we're kind of kind of retracing the same numbers, right? We're moving a little bit, but we haven't really gone anywhere. Out of the open, rally up, then recently the big move lower. Now we're rallying up again, actually producing a number one signal to buy now that the clouds have crossed the other direction here on the Raptor. My concern is that maybe we are developing a sideways trading range. If that's the case, we should see a retest here of the high of the morning. And we do now have a second push opportunity on this number one signal. It's a little rich, but here we'll throw it in there. We'll see whether or not we get a rally out of this. So again, I had a couple second push opportunities on this signal. Of course, I had the number one signal and the second push right here. A few bars later, because I was a little late with the trade, I had another second push opportunity. From this point, it really becomes a matter of logistics. Can you set up this trade so that A, you can afford it, and that B, maybe you can make your profit objective before you encounter more resistance? It's a bit of a tough spot though, because we are all over the map. Okay, now we're moving into yellow bars. I'm going to close out that position. Yeah, we're very neutral here right now. Hey, way to go, Ray. Ray says, I just scalped for $53. I used the buy button. You know, if the market is moving fast or you kind of see a last minute signal, the buy or sell buttons are a great way to get into the trade. And it looks like we're going to get a little bit maybe here of a bearish move. There's a little bit of a bearish bent. Another possible red bar buy signal here. Signal hasn't developed yet. We only have the warning dots. So there's the signal. Once again, I could look to short it because this is the hawk. I can get by with a slightly tighter stop, maybe. And no, we're rallying away from that. So we're just going to give the market here a few minutes. It does seem to be in a little bit of a sideways to bullish bent. Oh, actually, speaking of which, we have a number 3 signal here we can take advantage of. This is similar to the number 1 signal that we were just looking at. This now a number 3 signal. Perhaps the safer entry is actually above that little swing high. Give it a tick or two. You'll probably get by with a slightly tighter stop. Okay, we'll see if they try to rally up from here. Great question here from John. John asked, would you recommend 2 or more monitors? Uh, a lot of people are under the impression that they need to follow a lot of markets. And it looks just a quick little aside here before I get into the explanation here for John. Look what happened here. I got my 1 tick trend, bought the breakout. Sellers were waiting up here, just slammed me. And now I'm looking for a little bit of buying to come back into the market so I can adjust my stops a little bit. Otherwise, they're going to run me out here and tag me out. Okay, so John asks, would you recommend using 2 or more monitors? I've seen guys that have a dozen monitors. No, no word of a lie. And there's the impression that if I'm going to make money, if I'm a serious trader, I have to watch more than one market. Personally, I think that gets confusing. I'm a big one for simplicity. I think you can make all the money you want by following one market. And if you're trading well, you know what, even if you're trading the full DTS system, you can see it, you can get by on one monitor pretty well just by condensing your chart and then expanding it as you need to. So, short answer, no, I don't think you need more than one monitor. Of course, the screen real estate is nice if you have more than one monitor to follow. You can spread things out a little bit. I have 3 monitors, and that's really for the sake of the room. This monitor here is the one that I pay the most attention to. I glance at my other charts, mostly for the benefit of you guys, because occasionally people ask me, hey, Eric, what's the E-mini doing? Or what's crude oil doing? Or the Russell or whatever. And then I have my 3rd monitor, and that has the chat room software on it and stuff like that, so that I can monitor questions. For me, that would be a little cumbersome if I tried to put all that onto one monitor. Some of the best traders I've known have traded one market and one monitor. So, like I said, for me, I think simple is best. And I'm debating now whether I should roll that stop or try to give them just a little bit more. If I get another swing, then I can roll it up and stay 2 swings back. Steve, you're terrible. Steve says he has 4 monitors. Okay, I got a little mini swing in here, and I'm thinking maybe I can tighten up my stop a little bit. See, the danger is the market may breach this low by a tick or 2, tag me out, and then go higher. That's what I'm trying to avoid. The further you keep your stop away, the more likely it is your trade will work out. Of course, it's a balancing act, because if you do get tagged, and I think I am going to get tagged here. The market's just waffling a little bit too much. Oh, way to go. Ray says I'm using the T1 settings at 15 ticks. So his target 1 instead of 20 ticks is 15. And there too, you increase your probability of a successful trade with a tighter profit objective. You still have to make it worthwhile. Don't reduce your profit target so much that, a one tick profit isn't going to help you a whole lot. You'll be successful. You'll have a very high win rate, but only your broker will be making money. Okay, it does seem as though we have a little bit of a sideways range, like so. And it looks like we're trading in the middle of the range, which is the very worst place to be trading. Selling will be here in the top quarter, top third. Buyers down here in the bottom quarter, bottom third. The middle, however, very, very neutral. So you can see we're starting to get a lot of yellow bars grouping here on the hawk. That's telling me the market's neutral. Here on the Raptor, starting to get a lot of candy striping. These background highlights not going anywhere, very neutral. Good to know for you Apple users. John says, by the way, Apple can support more than one monitor by using VMware Fusion. Nope, can't get over this primary resistance line. We're kind of stuck every time we make a run at the 74, 75 zone. The market turns around. Got ourselves a very nice little sideways trading range, however. You could bracket this range with your OCO order. You could look to buy above. You could look to sell below. If I get another little push up here toward the high, the top end of this trading range, I will have an opportunity to adjust my stops a little bit more. If I get a breakout above the top of the trading range, well, then I can adjust my stops more easily. All right, still a lot of back and forth here. Come on, let's go. This is usually what I try to avoid, getting stuck in a sideways market. I do have a 50-50 chance on the trade. It's just not where you want to be. You want to be in a market that's moving, not in a market that is stagnant. Because what's happened is when the market goes flat like this, it's going to stop hunting. It's going to start testing the lower end. It's going to hopefully start testing the upper end. And there's a chance of a premature stop out. Let's just take a look here at the reports calendar, see if there's anything due out. Nope, not really. Nothing to drive the market here today. Tomorrow, nothing going on tomorrow. No, pretty quiet week report-wise. Maybe toward the end of the week, we'll get a little something to spur the market on. But right now, you can see we are dead neutral. Should have packed up my toys and gone golfing. You can tell it's that time of the year. I have golf brain. Okay, so you can see we're going to do a little stop hunting. They're trying to check the lower end of the trading range. We're getting really tight. Cloud wrapped up here, twisting like a rope. Look at the hawk. The hawk is just full on sideways here right now. Just so neutral when you see all those yellow bars. Hope I didn't roll my stop too early. No, looks like I'm gonna get tagged out here, unfortunately. Yeah, there they go. Well, that's, like I say, the problem with those sideways trading ranges. Well, that was unfortunate. Until we get outside this sideways range, though, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough trading. We'll probably see another little rally attempt. And if that rally attempt fails, well, then we can probably try to short with a little bit more confidence. But right now, we're going to produce a sell signal here. We're going to produce a cloud crossover. That's the number one signal. So the cloud's crossing right from a bullish to bearish slant. We're getting our little bit of a pullback. If the market continues lower from here, we will produce a number one signal. But just looking at the overall context, we've been stuck sideways for a good half hour. All right, and that's not going to develop into anything either. So we're in a little bit of a holding pattern here at the moment as we wait for the market to do something. A couple of questions here from John. John asks, can you trade end of day with the Raptor? Yes, you can. Your stops, of course, need to be wider. You would probably also go with maybe a slightly larger tick value. So let's just do a for instance here. 1 second, and I'm going to grab my Russell chart. End of day is a little trickier because well, actually the Russell kind of quiet here. End of day simply means that you hold the position overnight. So from that point of view, you probably want a broader perspective. You're not so concerned what's going on intraday. You want to see the bigger trend. So for that instance, you're probably going to change some of your settings. So you're going to go here to your data series, and I'm just going to pull a number here. We're going to make it a 20 tick brick. And now we need to adjust our clouds. So we're going to go now to the indicators. We're going to find the Raptor. Now, remember, the other day I mentioned there's an approximate relationship between the clouds and the hawk and your brick size. Your slow cloud is about 1.5 times your brick size. So if your brick size is 20, 1.5 times of 20 would be 30 ticks. That's for your slow cloud. Your fast cloud is the same as your tick size, so that would be 20 ticks. And your hawk brick size is about 75% of your brick size, in which case this would make it about 15 ticks. Okay, so there you go. Now you have your end of day chart here for your Russell market. And you can see you're only producing about a signal a day. And at least with the Russell, the signals do seem to be appearing during the day portion of the session. You don't have to stay up all night to watch the market, or as one fellow I know gets up every 4 hours or checks his charts every 4 hours, day and night. So here was a number one signal a couple days back, and that had nice follow through. Here was a number two signal, good follow through lower. Here now a number one signal, and you would still be working that number one signal, so a nice little rally up. So certainly it can be done, and like I said, a little bit of an adjustment to your bar sizes to make that happen. John says, I trade an ETF called SOXL. I don't follow the ETFs that much. I have a friend who's an active ETF trader. There are some very good ETF markets to follow. Nice thing about the ETFs is you have total control over your risk exposure. And by that, I mean, because you're buying shares, you can buy one share, you can buy 1,000 shares. In the futures, you're pretty much committed to whatever the contract size of the market is, right? The size is preset for the NASDAQ or gold or crude or whatever it happens to be you're following. Okay, we are starting to box ourselves into a bit of a corner. And we will probably see a breakout soon. Could do your OCO type order. Your OCO, you turn it on, and then you right click on your chart for your OCO order. These orders are live the moment you put them on your chart, so you can put them on, you can move them wherever you want them to be. Don't put them too tight, or I wouldn't recommend putting them too tight. Like I said, there could be a little bit of stop hunting going on here. So give yourself a few ticks above the highs and lows. The Raptor going to work another number one signal here, but again, the overall context of the market very, very sideways. no follow through higher or lower. Okay, so here now that cloud crossover signal. Okay, so they did fill me on that number one signal on this breakout. I better get a stop in play. We'll throw a stop below the lows. Okay, getting a little bit of movement now. Maybe, who knows, we might see another run up to 7,500. Oh, come on, just a little bit more. We're getting close to the high of the morning. A little bit of an early flinch. All right, I'm going to chicken out. I'm going to take this trade to break even now. All right, we'll hold it there, and with a little bit of luck, there might be a little bit more follow through here. If there is, if we get a bullish push from here, we will challenge the high of the morning, and like I said, quite possibly make a run at 7,500. If I kept my deeper stop, of course, I give myself a better chance, but the market's just too sideways for me right now. No, no, they wouldn't give it to me. Doggone it. I guess I should have grabbed my profit when I had it, maybe. Oh well. This could develop into a rather large double top here on the morning. That would certainly reinforce the notion that we are in a sideways trading range. Notice too how the trade that I got tagged here on the little bit of a reverse, had I run a deeper stop, say down here, or even below the low of the morning, it would have been a profitable trade. So just kind of reinforcing how important it is not to get tagged out too early. Don't place your stops too tight if you can help it. All right, we're back into this sideways trading range again. Okay, we got ourselves a number 3 signal here developing, and I'm just going to punch into this one. I'm going to go to manual mode. I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to try to keep my stops a little bit deeper. Technically, I suppose you could call this 2 swings back, but I'll give them just a little bit more here to start. So the number 3 signal, a continuation signal. What I'm thinking is, okay, if this was a sideways trading range, a small one, the market broke out, it's retesting, it's trying to buy it up again. So maybe, just maybe, we'll get a little bit of a bullish follow through there. Do I dare try for the high of the morning? Where are we after that? Back up here to 7,500. Okay, that would be a real home run. But let's see if we can recover to the high of the day. That would be asking a fair amount from this market as well. Come on, get up there. Come on, one more little bullish push and then I can bring my stops up a little bit more. No, they're not going to give it to me. Scoundrels. It's a tough day today. There's no question about it. A lot of, like I said, the context, you really can't ignore the left side of your chart. A lot of sideways trading. We're spending a lot of time here. We really haven't moved very far off 74, 75 since the day began. Come on, get up there a little bit. You can do it. I don't like to manipulate the markets this way, but sometimes you can move it higher with your mouse. Just get up there and push the market up. There we go. See, there we go. Come on, keep going. Don't stop. Come on, get going. Get up there. Getting a little bit more volume building. These bars are getting a little bit wider. No, still sideways. What can you do? Sideways golf. Sideways golf. Sideways trading. So all the market is doing now is kind of testing the upper end, testing the lower end. It's going to try to break, and then as it breaks trend lines, see, can we draw a trend line here somewhere? Yeah, here we go. So as it breaks trend lines, it's going to encourage some buying. We're going to see some buyers show up here now. It's just a bit of a sideways mess today, folks. And it's summertime trading. Looks like the best opportunities did come early, and there might be a couple opportunities toward the close, but by and large, it looks like it's just going to be more of the same, more of this back and forth. Back and forth choppiness. All right, so got tagged out on that. Sometimes there comes a point where you just have to recognize that the market is in a sideways trading range. Just looking at the overall context of the market. Normally what I'll do in a situation like this, if the market is sideways, I may try to take 1 or 2 trades, sometimes 3, but rarely more than that. And what I'll do is I'll try to give the market every opportunity for success. So I'll look for a high probability signal. Let's say I'm anticipating a breakout. Let's say I'm looking at this and my Geiger counter is full on green or whatever. And I'm thinking, okay, I'll give this trade a whirl. Maybe I'll dial down the risk a little bit, maybe only to 1% or whatever. but I'll look to take the trade, and let's say for whatever reason the trade does not work out, and then I get another high probability signal, and I choose to try that one. And I have my reasons for taking this. I'm just not taking the signals because the signals are printing. You know, the signals will print in a sideways market. But let's say, you know, like I looked at this and I thought, okay, trading range, breakout, retest, let's give that one a whirl. And it too did not work out. So if I've taken a couple high probability signals and they're not working out, at this point I'm thinking, okay, there's something going on with the market today. Things are not quite right. The market is giving me some bad signals. After about two of these high probability trades that do not work out, you really need to step back and consider that maybe this won't be a good trading day. Not all trading days are created equal, of course. Some days will be better than others, but there's no point in chasing your tail. There's no point in getting repeatedly stopped out because it's only going to add to your frustration. Never mind take money out of your trading account. But you can always come back. You know, the market has no direction today. So I think it would be prudent just kind of take a back seat and say, nope, this isn't a good trading day. I'm going to go do something else. And I think that's where we're at right now. Floyd says, are you familiar with the choppiness indicator? It's been great showing this chop period. I think Floyd's referring to his little 30-second ADX chart, and I will build one here for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a new chart, and this is Floyd's little gift to everyone. So we're going to do a NASDAQ, and we're going to do a 30-second, and we're going to do, okay. Okay, so here's your little 30-second chart, and we're going to put an ADX on here. We'll make that a little brighter so it's easier to see. And I think, Floyd, you lower your parameter to 20, is that right? From 15 to 20? Yeah, okay. Okay, so here's your 30-second ADX. And the idea is if the market is trading, if the ADX is trading below the line, the market has no direction. And you can see that's very much the case. And if it gets above the line, well, then it may start to get some sort of trend going on. Now, ADX is non-directional. It only shows you strength. So up here, it's saying trend, and down here, it's saying no trend. It doesn't give you direction. It only tells you whether the market may be trending or non-trending. So right now, at least as far as the 30-second chart is concerned, we do have a little bit of a downward bias. And that's not because this is pointing down, but rather it's up here in the trending zone. And below 20 is non-trending. Oops. So there you go. There's a little handy dandy do-it-yourself indicator. If you would like to follow that. Floyd is right though, like it does give you a pretty good indication. You can see when the market is down here below the 20 line, there is no trend. ADX, however, as with most indicators, is a lagging indicator. All right, so a little bit of a bearish follow through now. Quick little bearish follow through. You see, we're getting these buying and selling spikes. You can see them here on the Geiger counter as well. So we get a sell spike, the market moves down a little bit. We had a buy spike, the market moves up a little bit. But it's not really prolonged. It's not really establishing much of a trend. But for the short term, it's giving you a pretty decent little heads up. All right, gang, I think that's enough fun for today. We'll do it all again tomorrow. I will talk to you then. Bye for now.